So moving on to Angola, my people, if any country needs a revolution right now, it is the people of Angola. One man and his family have turned a country of 21 million people into their private estate. This year makes it 36 years since their president, Jose Eduardo Santos, has been in power, enriching himself and his family with the oil money. As you guys know, Angola is the second largest oil producer in Africa. 36 years, definitely a dictator. He even surpassed Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. So last week, I was so furious when I heard that 17 young people, including a popular musician, were sentenced to prison, some to 4 years, some to 8 years, and so forth. And what's their crime? You will not believe it. These guys are members of a book club. You know how people form book clubs, to read all kinds of books and discuss it? Well, it so happened that the Angolan government did not like the book that these people were reading. And the title of the book is From Dictatorship to Democracy, a 20-year-old text about non-violent political defiance that's often cited in protest movements. So these people were reading a book from dictatorship to democracy. That was their crime. Just imagine living in a country where you can't read just any book, where the government has to censor the book that you read or discuss with your friends. How do you live in a country like that? So they were arrested since June of last year. They held these people for 5 months with no trial. Like, really? So they actually started protesting. They went on hunger strike. They were like, why did you arrest us? You didn't try us in court. You just put us in prison for 5 whole months. In fact, the rapper went on hunger strike for 36 days. When the pressure was coming from international world as well, in November of last year, the government finally started their trial. And guess what happened? When they started the trial, they did not allow their family members or journalists at the court proceedings. What kind of judgment is that? Like, we don't need a sorcerer to tell us that kind of judgment would not be free and fair. So in March last month, the government finally said that they were guilty of plotting to overthrow the government. I was like, what? No. This is interesting. So you can convict me based on the book that I'm reading? I need to march forward to Angola and talk to Mr. President like, sit down, what is your problem? Convicting people because of hey, you see? And that was how they sentenced these people. How ridiculous. See, that is what happens when you have a dictator as president. I'm sure you all know that. Dictators are always insecure and afraid. Deep down, they are afraid of being overthrown. Any small gathering of people like this, they will say, oh, maybe they are trying to overthrow me. How do you live like that? Knowing that people don't want you and you are forcing yourself on them and you are trying to instill fear in them by doing things like this. I mean, why do you think they did this? It's just to instill fear in the people. Just to tell people, oh, you better not gather and read any book that may look suspicious. You better not protest. That is the tactic that dictators use. But what they don't know is that stupid moves like this is actually what leads to revolution. I really, really hope that the people of Angola would wake up and, have a revolution and free yourself from this man and his family. What else are you waiting for, my people of Angola? Like I said, Angola is the second richest oil producing country in the whole of Africa. So because of that, I think that Angola should actually have the best economy in Africa, and not just on paper, in terms of the living standard of its people. And I'm saying that considering the fact that Angola has only 21 million people. That is, if you are comparing that with Nigeria, which is 180 million people, that's like combining Kano with Lagos and Plateau State. In fact, that is already more than the population of Angola. So if you are 21 million and you're the second largest oil producer on the continent, your people should be enjoying. Instead of the people enjoying though, what do we see? Mr. President and his family becoming richer. Right now, his net worth is $20 billion, making him one of the top 10 richest people in the whole of Africa. There was a time that he was the richest person in Africa. And we're not surprised that his daughter, Isabel dos Santos, is reportedly the richest woman in Africa, richer than Olakija, yeah. Which is why they can afford to invite Nicki Minaj during Christmas last year to come and perform. You guys remember? Yeah, put that, why do you have to put up that photo? That photo is very, anyway, Nicki Minaj was there. People were shouting, Nicki, why do you have to go and entertain a dictator? But she went to. Anyway, the economy is really bad right now because of the oil price that came down. There's a decline in public services from sanitation to medical care. As a matter of fact, right now, Angola is facing the worst yellow fever outbreak in the last 30 years. So people are dying as a result of sanitation service cuts. It's very, very sad. So you would think that Mr. President would think of the way forward, how to fix the issue going on. With all the problem that they're facing right now, this is what the government is doing, sentencing people to jail because they are reading a book. Lord have mercy. And as you know, I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.